What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about everybody's favorite single sports co-host by the name of Jaye Taylor. Apparently, she got into some Twitter back and forth like she seemingly does numerously. Infamously, I made a video about her Thanksgiving Day ranting that she went on Twitter, right? And this time, apparently, she was getting into it with people over a post that she put up, or she responded to, about a private school in Miami that told staff that they won't be allowed near students if they get the CV vaccine. And she responded by saying, "Why are people the way they are?" Which caused her to get back and go back and forth with people, because again, she has no life outside of what she does on TV. She seemingly is somebody who does not have any love in her life. She's one of these women that believe in the delusions of society and what it tells a lot of modern women. She doesn't understand that ultimately, if you don't change, your relationship status won't change. It's going to remain the same. And she deals with that by going back and forth with people on social media. And in one of the back and forths, somebody posted a picture, and I'll have it in the video, you can see it. And it says, "The only reason men follow you, this is the only reason men follow you." And they had a circle around her chest, right? "Don't play yourself thinking you have any other worth," okay? And then she responded by saying, "Do incels not know that my account is public, so you don't have to follow me to see me or my photos?" And she responded to somebody else by saying, "But you still follow me, so." And she also, and I'll probably put in the video here, somebody asked her, "You continue to retweet those dummies, give them more incentive to bother you. That's what trolls do." And she says, "Sorry to be the one to tell you this, but me responding to trolls or not responding has exactly zero influence on them. Trolls are going to troll. That's what trolls do." And she's responding like this to somebody that actually was coming to her defense. Let me say this about Jaye Taylor. Okay. Jaye Taylor is somebody who's incredibly thin-skinned, and she doesn't understand that you're a public figure. You have a blue check mark. You get on social media and you spew out certain narratives. Now, she's one of these left-leaning womanists. You know, she's one of these women that believe in women empowerment, which is why she's single. Because no man is going to put up with a woman who, especially one of these liberal, left-leaning women, nobody wants a wife like that. Nobody, because she was engaged to be married. Hard to believe, right? You're responding to all these people for what? The block button is also public. You can use that too. You're not barred from using that. And she has a buddy as well who helps her tag team guys in her comment section. Whenever, I guess, you don't side with her or you have a disagreement with her, here she goes going at you, instead of saying, "You know what? This guy is a troll. Why am I going back and forth with him?" But she does it because she has nothing else better going on. And it ain't just her. I mean, I saw ESPN's very own Elle Duncan in there. Guess trying to lighten the mood, whatever. But a lot of these women congregate to each other. She has a friend who I believe is a sports reporter or whatnot. She also likes to help her when guys come at her, because she's going at those guys, just like she did during Thanksgiving when she was going at these guys who, she was in a mood because she was alone, drinking wine, watching reality TV, lonely, nobody to be there with her. And that's what you see with a lot of these women like this. Jaye Taylor does seemingly have potential. You look at her from the outside and you would say, hey, she has looks. Why can't she find anybody? I mean, it's not like she doesn't try to make herself look good. It's not like she's going around making herself, look bummy. She doesn't. This is a woman that was engaged to be married, and that relationship fell apart seemingly very quickly. This is somebody who probably is better off being single. And the thing is that women have this mindset. Women like Joy Taylor, they have this mind state that there's always going to be a different man out there. And there's always going to be a man of higher value that's going to want her. But what she doesn't understand is men are wisening up. They don't have to be men who are quote unquote red pilled. These could be your average everyday guys that you have conversations with who aren't even on social media like that, who will say the same things that we are saying, which is why a lot of those guys don't date women like Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor, you are on TV because and the thing is this, men follow Joy Taylor because of how, I think because of how she looks. And I also think it was because, when she first got to Fox Sports and she was on Undisputed, she came across as very likable. She did. But once she cut her hair and started co-hosting for Colin Cowherd, which is, there's some question marks there as to why you would pull her from one FS1 show to another. And then you take her from Undisputed and she goes to Colin Cowherd's show. Maybe that's an upgrade. I don't know. Because I guess she's his direct co-host or something. She replaced one airhead. They put her there, and all of a sudden now she has like this new look about her. She's more concerned with showing cleavage, because she wasn't really concerned with showing cleavage on Undisputed. That her job was to be a moderator of the sorts, right? But ever since she started being there with Colin Cowherd, she has started to change up her look to be more appealing to men, which is why you have men who do follow her for her look. But I do think that there are men who followed her because they liked her and she had a likable personality. You can even go back to old photos of her from a couple years ago. You look at that when she seemingly was more happy. It seemed like she was in relationships. But now you're looking at the single Joy Taylor, the bitter Joy Taylor, or Joy Taylor that has nobody else. So all she does is get on social media and she wants to clap back at everybody who criticizes her. Listen, if every blue check mark celebrity responded to everybody that has something to say to them, they wouldn't be able to get anything done. It does make you look petty. It makes you look thin-skinned. It really does. I'm not saying that she shouldn't. I mean, if you want, listen, I respond to some people here and there, but there are people who will say things to me and I know they're doing it to get my attention and I ignore them. There are people who send me messages on Instagram. They tag me on Twitter. I don't say nothing to them. I may mute them, right? But I'm not going to have no back and forth with somebody who's under a fake account, who don't even, who don't even show their real. Why would I go back and forth with somebody like that? They are purposely looking for my attention and I just don't engage them. But this chick engages anybody because no other man is talking to her. Unless they're trying to smash. All these women think they are more important than they really are. This is somebody who completely changed up her vibe. Once she went from Undisputed to Skip Bayless's show, not Skip Bayless, excuse me. Once she went from Undisputed to Colin Cowherd's show, she completely changed up her look. She is showing the chest off. She's showing the twins off. She didn't used to really do that on Undisputed. I don't remember her doing it on Undisputed, but she's doing that a lot on Colin Cowherd's show. Why is that? It's because she's trying to look good for the male audience. She's overcompensating for the fact that she's very average in that job. And I will never forget, right? On her podcast, she interviewed the actor from the Snowfall show. And somebody actually sent me the video clip. I think his name is Damson. And she was drooling all over Damson. And Damson was keeping it professional because, he could do a whole lot better than Joy Taylor. I mean, but in that moment, Joy Taylor would have probably given him the box and right in that moment. The way she was all over Damson. Damson kept it professional. He's there to do an interview. He's not there to hook up with Joy Taylor. He's not there to go on a date with Joy Taylor. I don't think he's really checking for Joy Taylor, but she was checking for him, and she was all smiles and happy to be around this guy. You know, they was in different locations, but that just shows you, right? You know, that spirit of women nowadays, they want to go out here, they want to be single and available, right? Until they reach that age where their looks are fading, where men are not interested anymore, then all of a sudden they want a relationship. They want marriage, but they didn't want it before. I just think that you have somebody who has nothing going on whatsoever. So they have time out of their day to go at somebody who they could easily mute or they can block, right? Because I've muted a few, not too many, but a few, or I just ignore you. You can send me messages all you want to. But if I am busy or if I don't really care what you have to say about me because I'm not thin-skinned, then I'm going to ignore you. But she can't do that because she's very thin-skinned and she's very self-conscious. You can tell a self-conscious person a mile away. She's very self-conscious, which is why she had to change up, her look. Go look at her. I would say 5 years ago, and look at her now. This is somebody who you can tell is self-conscious. She I don't know what's going on with her body, but she looked smaller than she does now, even though she's not fat. I'm not saying fat, but I don't know, maybe it's her genes. And maybe that makes her subconscious because you look at old photos of her, and then you look at her now, and it just looks like, I don't know, one part of her genes is taking over and it's causing her to be subconscious. I'm not saying Joy Taylor's ugly at all. I don't think she's ugly whatsoever. But I'm just saying, you can tell when somebody's subconscious. They're putting up old photos of themselves on their IG, which shows you that, they miss a part of themselves. And they feel like if they were that woman again, they would be able to get attention like they feel like they deserve, right? But what she should do is not be so thin-skinned and then wonder why they're talking about how you can only get men to follow you because of how you look.